The Undefeated by Kwame Alexander and Kadir Nelson. The Undefeated by Kwame Alexander and illustrated by Kadir Nelson. This is for the unforgettable, the swift ones, the sweet ones, the swift and sweet ones who hurdled history and opened a world of possible. The ones who survived America by all means necessary. And the ones who didn't. This is for the undeniable, the ones scored with chains on one hand and faith in the other. This is for the unflappable, the sophisticated ones who box adversity and tackle vision. Who shine their light for the world to see and don't stop till the break of dawn. This is for the unafraid, the audacious ones who carried the red, white, and weary blues on the battlefield to save an unperfect union. The righteous marching ones who sang we shall not be moved because Black lives matter. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unlimited, unstoppable ones, the dreamers, the doers who swim across the big sea of our imagination and showed us the magical shores of the promised land. The Wilma Rudolphs, the Muhammad Alis, the Althea Gibsons, the Jesse Owens, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Sierras, the Sherrills, the Reese Whitleys, and the undiscoverable. This is for the unbelievable, the wee, real, cool ones. This is for the unblending, the black as night is beautiful ones. This is for the underdogs, the uncertainty, the uncertain, the unspoken, but no longer untitled. This is for the undefeated. This is for you and you and you. This is for us. I started writing this poem in 2008. This was the year of my second daughter, Samaria, was born. And 3 months later, Barack Obama became the first African-American president of the United States. This poem was my tribute to both. I wanted to establish from the very beginning that very much of what I was talking about in this poem, so much of it is American history. It has been forgotten, left out of the textbooks, and that is truly who we are as a country. We have accepted and embraced all of our woes and wonders. So I wrote this poem because I wanted my daughters to know how we had gotten to this historic moment. Or as the famous Malia Jackson spiritually said, "You know my soul, look back and wonder, how did I make it over?" I wrote this poem as Black Olympiads such as Jesse Owens and Wilma Rudolph undeniably the false narratives of white superiority by racing to the gold in front of the whole world, and Malcolm X urging blacks to fight for freedom, justice, and equality no matter the method or the cost, about enslaved Africans pushing the unwavering fighting spirits of hope and faith that one day they would be free and that their children and their children's children would become masters of their own destinies, about Langston Hughes and the Zora Nelson Hurstons and the Harlem Renaissance, about cultural expression and liberation in the Black arts movement, and about Dr. King's acceptance speech for the 1964 Nobel Prize, about the Promised Land, about racial injustice and poverty and war, and about civil rights marching, chanting, "We shall overcome," and demonstrating across the South, and about Jack Johnson, and Muhammad Ali boxing racial prejudice in and out of the ring, and about Civil War soldiers saving the Union that refused to see them as equal. and about Black Lives Matter. About Black Lives Matter. About Black Lives Matter. Because we are Americans, and because we are human beings. But mostly I wrote the poem to remind Samaria and her friends and her family that we all, and all of you, and to remind myself to never give up, because, as Maya Angelou wrote, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. It may be necessary to encounter defeat so that we can know who we are, so that we can see, oh, that happened, and I rose, and I get knocked down flat in front of the whole world, and I rose. Keep rising. Kwame Alexander, May 11th, 2018. To my great-great-grandfather, Sergeant March, Corporate, 2nd United States Colonel, Kwame Alexander. And for my grandmother, Verde Gunther Moore, I love you. Kadir Nelson. This is a poem, an ode, as Kwame writes, to the dreamers and the doers, to those who beat odds, staring down fear, make this nation better. We are proud that this poem is now become a book bearing the name Undefeated. And to our children and to the others who have faced setbacks and disappointments, we say, keep rising. Kevin Meredith, the editor. Thank you for listening.